Okay, this is a quick look at installing a Diamond Star headlight modulator from Signal Dynamics on a 2011 VStar 650 motorcycle. The job took me about 12 minutes from start to finish on my lunch hour. It's taken a lot longer to do this video, and much of that was just deciding where I wanted to mount the modulator. This first picture, here are the parts. I didn't video the process because I only have two hands. Anyway, here are the parts. On the right is the modulator itself. On the left is the plug-and-play harness for a single H4 headlight. This particular harness will fit most motorcycles with a single headlight, but check the application guide because there are a few motorcycles that use something other than an H4 bulb, and obviously the H4 harness is not going to work if you don't have an H4 bulb. The little red rectangle is just a double stick rubber pad that they provide for mounting the modulator. Okay, in this picture, here's the headlight bucket with the headlight removed. To remove the headlight, simply remove the two small Phillips head screws at the side, pull forward on the bottom of the headlight rim until the little clip at the top disengages, and then you can just lower the whole thing carefully down. If you're clumsy, you might want to put a towel over your fender, because it will hang, at least on the VStar 650, it will hang far enough that the light can hit the fender. I just rested it on it real gently and it sat there so it wouldn't move. But if you're paranoid about it, put a towel on the fender. I was happy to see how uncluttered this bucket was compared to some I've seen back in the day. And I like the nice big square hole. I was a little surprised to see that. I was expecting all the wires to be going through a minimum size hole and through a grommet and all that. And they've just got kind of a great big old square hole at the back of the headlight. Maybe not real good for the longevity of the electrical system, but it made it a lot easier to get that connector for the modulator harness through. In this picture, you see the plug-and-play harness installed in the bucket. It's real simple. You just take the plug off the back of the headlight as if you were going to change the headlight. There's a plug on the harness that plugs onto the headlight. You take the original plug that you removed from the headlight and you plug it into the other plug on the harness, and then you run the third connector out the back to go to the modulator itself. And then you can just put everything back in place. The green wire in there that you see coiled up, if you look closely, that's for the horn option. This unit has, if you hook that up to the plus terminal on your horn, when you honk your horn, it'll make the flashing change on the headlight. I may install it later, but I'm thinking about putting a better horn on there anyway, and I figure I'll wait until then, because if I relocate the horn, then I'll have to relocate the wire running to it, etc., etc. So I'll just wait until I decide what I'm going to do with the horn. Let's see. The headlight's been reinstalled in this last picture. To do that, you just do the reverse of taking it off. You start at the top and put it in until it kind of catches in the little notch there, and then you swing the bottom in and put the two screws in the sides. The modulator itself, I elected to put it where you see it there, just below the headlight on the lower tree. There's a really nice big flat spot on top of the top triple tree, but I didn't want to put it there because I'm thinking someday I might want to put a tack or a clock or both there. So I didn't want to take up the space, and this will be kind of down, out of the way down there. It doesn't really show unless you're standing, crouched down in front of the bike, really looking for it. And then at the back, for the time being, there's a little daylight sensor that shuts the modulator off at night so that it doesn't modulate. And you're supposed to have that pointed at the ground, not pointed up. For the time being, I just tie wrapped it to one of the brake hose clamps, made sure it doesn't rub on the hose, obviously, just out of the way there, and then later on I may decide to move it. It all depends on what other accessories I put on the bike and so on. And then finally, as with any other time you work on this particular part of your bike, check your steering and swing it lock to lock and make sure that you've not got anything rubbing or binding or getting pinched or any of that. And then finally the modulator in action, and a little short video here at the end that shows it actually does do what it's supposed to do, which it should after I spend the money for it. That's it. Okay, I don't know if it's going to show up on this video, but there it is, flashing like it's supposed to.